Hey everyone, Jim Gonzalez here. It's another Wednesday, and it's dreary and rainy out here in Pennsylvania. So it's not a day to be outside. It's a good day for ducks. Anyway, so what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about how to streamline 3PL and 4PL partnerships with EDI. Um, I've been getting a lot of emails, phone calls, those type of things, talking about 3PLs, 4PLs, and the such, and dealing with warehousing. So I wanted to bring this up that some people don't understand what's the difference between a 3PL and a 4PL. So a 3PL, if you think of it as an organization that's outside of your company, that your company does not own, it's a third party logistics, basically means that the 3PL handles the storage, the receipt, the shipping, all of those things evolving around your product. So does that mean that that 3PL might get the product from your manufacturing organization? So your manufacturer may send that product to your 3PL. That 3PL warehouse holds it, stores it, waits for you to actually ask them to ship it to a specific location. Okay, pretty simple. 4PL, think of it this way, and this is a newer terminology. A 4PL is a 3PL plus another process, and that process is the financial aspect. So they're actually handling the order to cash process for you. So think of your organization as being as I look at it, as being the sales and marketing entity, and they handle all of the shipping of the product, handling of the product, storing of the product, processing of the orders. So your trading partners are really sending the orders and they're flowing to that 3PL. So maybe they're sending a purchase order directly to the 3PL, or it's going to your EDI system or your provider, and it's literally going straight or carbon copying over to the 4PL, because that 4PL is handling the information. They're sending the order into the 4PL's ERP system, and they're basically doing all of the responsibilities of financially following and flowing of the document. So order in, posting the order, reviewing the shipments, sending the invoices, handling everything. If there's a credit or debit adjustment that gets sent back, the 4PL is handling that. They're doing all financial aspects. And the way I look at it is they're cutting you a check. So they're saying, hey, after all expenses, this is your profit. This is your commission for handling the sales and the marketing. But really, I mean, and I say it loosely, and I say it more of a funnier type haha, because a 4PL is handling all of that responsibility, but a 4PL is also not cheap. So think of all the personnel that you're paying for, think of the facility that you're paying for, think of they're handling all of the logistics for storing your product, shipping your product, labeling your products, doing all of those things to make you be successful. So in that successful processing, they're your partner. They're handling everything. Now, when you get into why are 3PL and 4PL partnerships important? Again, a 3PL has and gives you full visibility, or should give you full visibility, into all of the inventory that has been received, anything that's been damaged, shipping of the product, labeling of the product, doing all of those things for you. So in exchange, you're paying for them to do that, but you're also handling the order process from a financial aspect in your ERP or accounting software, whatever it may be. So common documents when you're interacting with a 3PL is a 940, a 945, so a warehouse shipping order, a 945, a warehouse shipping advice. So you're sending them a 940 or some facet of a 940, even if it's in XML and it's not in ANSI X12, but you're sending them that shipment document. You're asking them and you're saying, hey, here's something I need you to handle shipping. Some people even use an 850. So they'll just carbon copy the 850 right over to their 3PL. The next piece of that process, if they're a 3PL, depending on what they do for you or how complex their system is, they, in my mind, should be providing you back either an 856 direct to the trading partner when saying that the product is shipped, because they're labeling it, they're doing the UCC 128s, they're doing the custom packing slips, they're doing all of that. And they're in turn also sending you a 945, which is a warehouse shipping advice, telling you what's been sent. So shipping order comes in, shipping advice gets sent out, saying what's actually been sent, what's been fulfilled, so that you then on your internal system can either back order some items, produce whatever you need to. If you have to produce the 856 or the ASN, now the 945 that comes in that place should have the barcode number in it. So there's a lot of information that gets exchanged on the 940 and 945, because if you're fulfilling some of the EDI requirements for your trading partner, like the ASN, you need to know what's the label, where's it coming from. You know, you need all of that information and all the pertinent shipping information. If it's a 4PL, they're going to be handling all of that. You're the one getting a copy of, hey, here's a copy of an order, here's a copy of invoices that have been sent. But that relationship with the 4PL is they're really formatting, they're putting everything together, they're doing all of that information and all of that handling. That's what you're paying them for. Again, it's not cheap to have a 4PL, because really what you're doing is you're drumming up the business, you're doing the marketing, you're doing those things. Another set of documents that you'll see typically in a 3PL situation, a 943 and 944. That's inventory movement. That's transferring of products. So in 943, you're basically saying, here's the product that's been received or is going to be received into the 3PL. 945 is an adjustment to keep your system up to par as to where the movements are. Because remember, inventory is also key in all of this. And I'm just solely talking about order to cash process, no matter what industry you're dealing in. Now, can you be a manufacturer, distributor? Can you be all of those things? In this case, we're talking about somebody that's essentially outsourcing their information. Okay, outsourcing their products to being held at a certain warehouse and all of those things. So hopefully you understand that it's 940, 945, 943, 944, and possibilities of an 856 when you're dealing with a 3PL. 4PL, everything's being dealt with. 850s, 940s, 945s, 856s, 810s, 880s, 875s, and I'm rattling off a bunch of numbers just to give you an aspect that a 4PL should be handling everything for you. And maybe all you're doing is what I call a pass-through. So you're passing the data either through your EDI system, through your managed EDI partner, through the platform, whatever, straight over to the 4PL, or you're carbon copying them. So those are where your relationships with your 3PL and 4PL are very important, because they need to keep your inventory up to par. They need to keep those relationships of the EDI documents flowing when they're necessary and all of those things. So when you get chargebacks or you get fines, who's going to be responsible? You know, or hey, damaged goods, crediting of items, all of those things you have to work out with your 3PL and 4PL. Don't just look at them as, they just store our goods. They're just a warehouse. They're just a building and some people that are sticking stuff in a box. They're highly important to the success of your business and how you're doing things. So when we get into how can EDI help in streamlining the partnerships with a 3PL or 4PL, they can help a lot. Instead of having to make phone calls, email information with your 3PL or 4PL or your warehouse or your trading partners, 3PL or 4PL should give you access into maybe a portal that you can see and you can actually track how product is being shifted and how product is being engaged and where you're at in that shipping process, because information is key. So you may get into some 3PLs that don't have EDI capabilities. Well, is that a smart move for your organization? I understand you're saving money and all of those things, but is that necessarily a smart move when it comes to your relationship with those trading partners? Don't just look at that dollar amount if you're looking at loss of revenue, not shipping products out fast enough, not doing all of those things. So here, we have a good comment. 4PLs also can manage all transportation for clients as well. They typically run a TMS that can orchestrate across modes. Yes, 100%, Keith. A 4PL essentially handles all of that. They should be your full-on logistical partner of moving your product and possibilities of them running their own trucks, having their own drivers, having all of those things, or facilitating with drivers. 3PLs and 4PLs can also be that transportation partner. It all depends on how far they've developed their systems. Internally, that 3PL might save you because they have their own truck drivers on staff, their own trailers, their own trucks, all of those things, and they can move your products in and out. They also can do, I've seen organizations out there that can also do fulfillment based on your trading partners. So they know that they're handling fulfillment for this grocery store. Typically, easiest way to describe it. A grocery store likes to order so many different products and have them all come in on a full truck. They don't want individual cartons being received all day long. It doesn't make sense for them. They want this to come, if it's coming straight to their store, they want it coming as a full truck, because now they can schedule their people to unload that truck, bring it into the grocery store and put it onto the shelves at night or even during the day. So when you're looking at that type of aspect, think of it that way. Envision product going to this large, massive building, and they're literally know what they need to do, ketchup, cereals, all of those different things that can go to that individual grocery store to fulfill a truck. They also do it in retail. They do it in, Best Buy. They do it in these other facilities that are sending straight to the store or straight to a distribution center, because maybe they have knowledge of a less than truckload, because a full truck is a lot better than a half a truck. Fuel economy, you're paying the driver, like all of those things come into play. When we're talking about this, there was a major thing, and I don't like to bring up local news and that kind of stuff, but think of Baltimore. Baltimore right now, with the bridge that is dropped, there's a whole bunch of logistics that are going in play to move product from ships and all of that fun stuff. So 3PLs, 4PLs play a major role in movement of product throughout the world. Okay. So when we're looking at what are some of the common EDI documents, we went into play here: 850s, 810s, so purchase orders, invoices, 940s, which are your shipping orders, 945s, shipping advices. All of those things are coming into play with 3PLs and 4PLs, And 4PLs are taking on responsibilities of financials a lot of times. Or as Keith had indicated, a 4PL, it's more advancement. They have their trucking, they have the financials, they have all of those things that are in play. What questions to ask a 3PL or 4PL before doing EDI with them? What can they handle? What file formats can they handle? What are they looking for? What can they do? Can they label the product? Can they print custom packing slips? Do they have their own drivers? Do they have their own trucks and trailers? Do they have, how much of the sphere are they self-contained, and how many pieces are they not able to handle? Are they refrigerated and non-refrigerated in the same location? May not be the same exact warehouse, but I've run across this in pharmaceuticals where major organizations are split up. Well, that causes an issue in pharmaceuticals because guess what? When you're shipping product and the Drug Security Act is involved, you're going to have, if a location has one GLN and a different location has another GLN, well, now you're looking at 2 documents for EPSIS. Well, that's an issue. Most people don't understand that, hey, listen, when somebody places an order, they're coming in as an order and they just want that order fulfilled. They don't care if it's refrigerated, non-refrigerated. They don't really care what it is. But I get where a warehouse is going, hey, well, we only store refrigerated in this location and non-refrigerated in this location. Well, now you got to go back to the trading partner and say, hey, when you send a purchase order, I need it to be split. I need refrigerated on one purchase order, non-refrigerated on another purchase order. How many times and how many trading partners do you think have a system in place on their end to do that? Instead of pick whatever product you want, send the product in. But then again, on the back end, they might have a requirement where they say, hey, listen, we can receive 1 invoice per purchase order. Well, now you got a whole nother logistical nightmare to deal with. So understanding what they can do, how they handle it, how they ship your products, who's handling their products, who's handling the transportation, how they're doing all those things. The list just goes on and on and on, depending on your business requirements, depending on your business process. Make sure each of these organizations can fulfill that. Make sure that they can handle everything that you're looking to do, whether it be now, 6 months, a year, 2 years. It's never easy to just pull a 3PL or 4PL out of the process. That's like, again, migration of EDI. I've seen people that don't plan, and all of a sudden they expect to move warehouses, 3PLs, and have it done over a 4-day span and still keep up with all the orders that they have coming in. And they only have, 100 SKUs. Imagine being in the warehouse and you're scrambling to fulfill orders when you don't even have those products in a bin location or on a rack where it's supposed to be, or any of those things, because literally the client that you're dealing with shut down the one warehouses and they're expecting you to handle it on another warehouse. So there's things like that you have to plan out, and you have to make sure that it's successfully handled so that there's no disruptions in your flow. And again, it's making sure that you select the right 3PL, 4PL, but asking the right questions. There's plenty of people that focus in supply chain that can help you with that. There's plenty of people that worked in warehouses that now are consultants that can help you in that aspect. At EDI Support, what we're here to do is we're here to help you move the data. We're helping you to make the connections, do the API, do all those things. We're not your warehouse advisory. Do we know a lot of those aspects? Yes, because we had to. We've had to learn it. So that's what I have for you today. Again, I look forward to, as every Wednesday, like our channel, comment on our videos. Let me know of different things that I can help you out with. Jim Gonzalez, EDI Support. We're here to help you move your data. Take care, everybody. Have a great Wednesday and a great rest of your week.